joined the rebel movement, now you speaking to the leader. The system don't like me, the system don't like your ass either. The color of your skin, no matter to them, you are not equal. If you ain't part of the 1%, you are not we the people. They acting like they like you, but you cannot join their party. They acting like they like you, but you cannot join their party. You poor and dying on the ground, that ambulance is tardy. You rich and dying on the ground, they give you a brand new body. These cold-hearted bastards killing children in their leisure. These bastards keep their heart locked up in a cryogenic freezer. They out here drunk with power, hanging people till they seizure. They out here having orgies going both ways just like Caesar. They out here burning money you could've used to feed your family. They laughing at the people starving to death down in the valley. You protesting, they tell them robots go shoot up the rally. Till I'm fighting a man with a sign in his hand, he dead up in the alley. If you tired of this shit, then let us take an oath. Said if you tired of this shit, then let us take an oath. Said if you tired of this shit, then let us take an oath. If you tired of this shit, let us take an oath. Now put one hand in the air, put one hand in the air, put one hand in the air, put one hand in the air. Throw them middle fingers up, throw them middle fingers up, throw them middle fingers up, throw them middle fingers up. Now jump up and down, 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 jump up and down.
Welcome back to Rome's Rebellion. I have a special guest with me today. Her name is Delilah, or as you might know her, Mama Earth Angry. Now, you know, she's no celebrity on the TV or whatnot, but, you know, I think the people on the ground is just as important or more important than any other celebrity or blue check on Twitter. So if y'all will give her a chance and hear her out, you know, that would be big ups for me. So listen up, motherfuckers. Delilah.
Hi.
It's good to have
Thank you for having me on, Rome.
Ain't no problem. You know, I want to talk to everyday people all the time, you know, because we hear so much from people who have so much. You know, these people have millions of dollars or $100,000 jobs and whatnot. We barely get to hear what happens on the ground until, you know, these voters, when they actually have to go out to these neighborhoods that's protesting and rioting or anything like that. So, first thing I want to ask you, you know, I know you're a leftist, so, you know, you might have some view of what a revolution is to you. Now, I'm pretty sure my audience know what I want out of my revolution. They know how I feel. But how do you think, you know, this revolution will look? How do you feel what would get us there?
Yeah, I'm really behind grassroots organizing. I think that people don't value the communities as well as they should. I live in a very, like, we are all spread out far in Texas, and it's hard to actually organize and get things going. Like, you need a solid, like, 2 months to get something good started and organized, where you got, like, a big showing of people. So a revolution to me isn't just a movement, and it's not, you know, a hashtag. It's not just a talking point. Like, it is a fundamental change systemically and on a personal level. Like, everybody has to be touched by this for it to be effective. And so really we just need to get together and work together towards the common goals, you know? That's what it looks like to me.
You know, with me saying that, it's a couple of people who was revolutionaries. They say they were, but they also voted for Joe Biden, and they believe that they can reform this Democratic Party in a way. You know, I wanted to ask you, how do you feel about, you know, the Democratic Party being reformed after hundreds of years of working for corporations? How can we even change something like that?
Yeah, I think you're easier going to move a rhino than move the Democratic Party left where it should be. They're centrist at this point. They're effective climate deniers. Like, they're not fighting for the things they told you they were going to fight for. They keep deluding people and lying about what their goals are, and they don't stick with them. So for me, I'm not, like, I voted third party the last 2 presidential elections, and I'm not going to go back. I don't care what they say. Like, even if Bernie Sanders ran again, I wouldn't even give him a dime, because I'm tired, you know?
Yeah. That's how I feel. I don't think I can back Bernie anymore. This is one of the reasons why I'm not backing Nina right now, because of the Democratic Party. And a
Yeah.
lot of people feel like I should be out there canvassing and getting all these people together to vote for the Democratic Party again. But they say, oh, it's not electoral politics, it's local, and we need Nina in for this and that. But I just don't see anything else happening with the DNC. Like, no matter who we get in these positions, this party is ran by corporations. And if you
Yeah.
was to, you can't just look at a party at its face. You can't just look at the faces of the party. If you was to bring down any empire, to strike at the base level first. You have to hit the foundation first. So what is the foundation of the Democratic Party? Corporations. So until we nationalize these corporations, the Democratic Party is always going to be controlled. But I'm glad that I can, I'm just trying to pick apart your brain, see where you at. But I know you shouldn't speak on this, but I'm going to ask you this anyway because I ask all white women questions or native. I know you women. I know you're native mixed with whatever. You say you're a mutt, but I'm going to ask you a question that's out of line. That you shouldn't be answering. Do you feel like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris Day, their inauguration day, was the biggest, most important day for Black females?
No, and it's hilarious to say that. I mean, white people will ask anybody who's of color to validate themselves and to authenticate themselves, and like therefore be within their sight or be valid within what they're working with. And I think so, like, often Black women are not publicized, they're not celebrated, you know what I'm saying? And for me, just seeing Kamala Harris go back and forth, like, depending on what's convenient. Oh, I'm this, I'm that. And it's like, she's never seemed to me to be like an authentic person. You know what I'm saying? It's like Cori Bush to me seems like an authentic person. She doesn't change, you know what I'm saying, how she talks or where she's at or who she's friendly to. You know what I'm saying? Like, she sticks to her values, and that's more important. Just somebody who's authentic there is what I would want to celebrate. Like, I'm not a Black woman, so I can't speak on behalf of how they feel. But I think from what I've heard from a lot of Black women are like, okay, I mean, I guess she's Black, like, but they don't feel personally represented by her or her policies, or, I think a lot of Black men celebrate her, because I think it's important to lift up your people, but I don't think it was that significant to what the working class needs and what, the problems facing everyday people that may or may not look like her,
Yeah, I understand totally. I see that you have brought up Cori Bush being authentic and, don't have to change the way that she is and whatnot. How do you personally feel about her first vote being for Nancy Pelosi without any floor vote for Medicare for all or any floor vote for, 15, at least push to 15 to Donald Trump before he get out of office? Anything, how do you feel about her first vote being for Nancy Pelosi?
Yeah, I mean, I bet it's dirty. Just like, I think it was like her first day, being sworn in, and that was the task. Like, she had to, I feel like if I were in her shoes, I would have felt like I didn't have a choice, especially the way the Democratic Party works. It seems like you're either helped or you're hurt if you don't do what we want you to do. And that's what I see. And so I'm not obviously pleased with the vote, and that, that she felt that she had to vote for Pelosi. Anybody that votes for Pelosi is pretty much saying, like, the struggles of the working class are not essential for discussion at this moment.
I have been to her district and I've seen the homeless population there for myself, and I see, the general, the gap between the poor and the rich there. And it's either you shack up with, if you're poor, which is like middle class out here in Michigan, you shacking up with 5, 6 people, sometimes 9 people. And if you can't afford that, you're going to be on the streets. And I know people that's making $15 an hour, but sleep in a tent in California. So, with me seeing this and me seeing how much money she has in real estate agencies, and I see Cody Bush is saying cancel rent. It just doesn't make sense for her to even, like, she could have just said, no, I'm not voting for anyone. Like, you could have just thrown up your vote. But this the thing, we have to make sure, these politicians from now on, once they go in, when they get in office with our talking points, they have to fight like us, fight like how we will. Because there's one thing to say Medicare for all, Green New Deal, this and that. You can co-sponsor all the bills you want, but just like when they thought Bernie Sanders was going to win, everybody backed off of Medicare for all. See, this is the thing. When it's time to fight, it's really time to fight, because we can talk about reparations, we can talk about this and that. All this shit will get you elected, but how do you plan on doing this under someone like Nancy Pelosi with $45 million in real estate?
See, that's the thing. I mean, we're talking about completely different classes of people. She's gained most of her wealth through her position. Pelosi has. The fact that anybody would even doubt that she isn't corrupt, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's obviously a pattern of her benefiting from other people's suffering. You don't get that amount of money from playing fair and, paying your taxes and things like that. Like, you get it by exploitation. There's no other way. And we don't talk about that enough. And our politicians, I have the worst politicians in Texas. Personally, I'm like, I hate that every time Texas is trending, it's for some crap, like Ted Cruz open his mouth, or like our, attorney general, all of them, just, they are terrible people. I don't feel like they represent us. I don't feel like they care about our needs, And as far as Medicare for All is concerned, we're like 20 years behind on getting universal health care. And like, there's obviously a problem. You've got people, it wasn't that long ago, people were just dying in ERs, and the news actually had to take a moral stance to be like, oh, maybe it's a problem. You know what I'm saying? But it had to happen. It's not just one person dying in an ER in a hospital. Like, that has happened all over the nation enough for the news to even pay attention or make it a big story, because obviously they weren't getting paid or compensated. You know what I'm saying? Like, they had to take that because the community was like, this is a problem. And so that's just, for me, I just feel like people need to start talking about this and care about what's happening and how people are suffering and what we can do, because we can do things to help. And we can't put our faith in these politicians. They're easily bought. They look the other way. They vote for things that aren't in the best interest of everyone. It's a problem. We got to address it,
So how do you personally, you yourself, how do you plan on opening ears and getting people to actually listen and not look at the price tag, even though we know Medicare for all is going to cost the nation less money, a year on healthcare. We know that. But how do you personally get in the people are going to teach the people around you, the people that you work with? You are a nurse, correct?
Actually, I'm a surgical tech, so it's kind of like a nurse.
Okay, well, how do you plan on, all them doctors that you work with, all them nurses that you work with, your family members? I know everybody isn't, whoop-de-doo, and everybody ain't got money. How do you plan on getting in their brain and showing them that we should be pushing for this more than anything, more than voting for anybody? This is more important than Biden and Trump. How do you plan on, teaching your people?
It's if you're talking to somebody who is compassionate or aware, it doesn't take a lot to convince them. The universal healthcare is best. A lot of people that I work with are there because they want to help people. That's the, you know what I mean? You don't go into these stressful jobs because you expect it to be easy money. You're going with the dedication to helping people. So for those people, it's very easy to just bring up relevant situations and apply the information to the, you know what I mean, make it relevant, make them understand. We all have like a pretty good understanding of how like the insurance companies don't help people. Like that's not part of their job. You know, so it's the people who are just ignorant to listening to facts that I have more trouble with. And I mean, I just challenge them on a regular basis. I just challenge them every time about their thoughts and, you know, try to get them to pay attention to what's going on and give them information. And, you know, I get a lot of pushback from that, but you know what I mean? Like I'm here in healthcare. I care about people. I don't want somebody to die just because they got a cancer diagnosis. That's not right, you know? And if you can't get above, you know, your own personal investments in your job, then what are you doing here? So that's how I feel about it. That's how I challenge people that I know, especially in that field specifically.
Like what we was talking about earlier, you know, when like one of my things is I like to agree with you, you know, because I don't like certain politicians. And if you don't like this politician, like, yeah, fuck him. You know, somebody say, fuck Obama. Yeah, fuck Obama. They look at me like, oh, okay, yeah. Donald Trump, like, nope, fuck Trump too. Or, you know,
yeah,
like I said earlier on the phone, I say something that another politician did, you know, like, yeah, this guy did this, this, and that. Like, yeah. Oh, he did that? That's fucked up. Blah, blah, blah. Psych, your favorite politician did.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how about we just get together and fight both of them?
What's that?
Say, how don't we just stop talking about, you know what I'm saying? Get together and fight both of them. Stop talking shit to each other about your favorite politicians. Because ain't none of them shit. You only getting news.
Right.
You only getting bad news about your favorite politician, about, you know what I'm saying, about, sorry. You want to get good news about your favorite politician because you on the left, you know what I'm saying, you watching CNN, well, the left, you watching CNN, MSNBC, shit like that. And then these people are hearing the bad side of your favorite politician because, and it's vice versa. It's vice versa. But here, independent media and the real leftist media, we're going to talk shit about everybody. Everybody gets it because we need to be fighting these people together. And they are not our equals. They are equals amongst each other. We are equals amongst each other. You know,
yes.
And you know, that's how I always teach people, like, look, it's gonna be a class where before it's gonna be anything, they're gonna teach you that this is they're gonna teach you, you know what I'm saying, CIA talking points in your middle school, in elementary. They teaches you that the first president had wooden teeth, but it was slave teeth. Simple things like that. Simple things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's fucked up, it's still programmed. You know? It's still programmed. You know, some people still don't even like. There's a lot of you know, when you going out there and you want to talk to people and you want to canvas and, you know, flip these voters, you have to realize these people are insane. Voters are insane. And the definition of insanity is to do something over and over and over, thinking that you're going to get something, you know, different out of it. So you have to cope with them on some level and say, look, all right, look, I'm with you here. But are you with me here? You know, yeah, fuck that politician, but fuck your politician too. You know, because all that matters is me and you. We stay in the same neighborhood, right? So if this politician get into power and cut funding for our schools, cut funding for our, you know, our district, period, it's gonna be me and you out there in front of the Capitol. You know, in our cities. It's not gonna be that politician.
It's gonna be, no, it's the people, it's the community organizers who are the ones that rally the people for the calls, you know, but we have to keep going against this, like, you know, hero worship complexes of politicians like they're Jesus. They're not. They come by when it's convenient. They take from you what they need, and then they expect your loyalty for that, like a hierarchy. That's why we're not supposed to want kings and queens here in the US. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't believe that hierarchy. Well, it's a corporate hierarchy. So they still have more power than us. And we can't have like savior complex, you know, excuses for the duopoly. I have been voting for a long time, and I used to be a Democrat. I didn't know any better. You know, it sounded okay. There's all this hype, right? Like they care about everybody. It doesn't, you know, if you pay attention, you'll start to see like, oh, well, it looks like they didn't keep their promises. It looks like, you know, they don't.
But you still getting locked up. At the end of the day, they still lock you up.
And they're taxing us. They're taking our money. They're exploiting our wages, our labor. I mean, give it up already. I have no faith in duopoly. They both parties clearly serve the same interests, and those are not us. We're not their interests. We're their pocketbooks.
Yep. We and the rest of the money. We make the money for the corporations that pay them.
Yeah, we work and they don't.
Yeah.
That's literally the whole
sit
problem.
At home and do nothing. Mm-hmm. Their job is to sit here and write. And I don't give a fuck if you say, oh, it takes a brain strain. Yes, it does. What job don't? That's the fucking job. Yeah. That's a job. And it's no harder than you know, doing machinery. Fucking put a politician on top of a roof, tell him to strip it and lay it. Mm-hmm. All right, then. You know? So we can talk about hard work and we can talk about work and whatever the fuck is strange you, but that's your job. If you can't, you know, if you can't sit in this office and pass bills that's going to benefit people, if you're just going to give up, then this isn't the job for you. This isn't the job for you. And like a lot of people don't like that. You know, I said something about John Lewis when he died. It's like this nigga was conservative. Yeah. He was a conservative. He haven't been progressive in fucking decades. And now you want me to fucking say her, oh, I'm so sad you died. No, I'm not. Right. All my leaders was killed by the US government. How did you die? A full life. How did you live a full life and die an old man? If you was a real Black activist, we know what happens to us. We know what is coming to us. And I know, and I have this argument with my girl all the time because she don't like my tone half the time. She don't like that I tell people it is what it is. We got to do what we got to do. And if it's our life or theirs, you know, which one is more important? These politicians are saying that, you know, Medicare for all costs too much. How much is your life worth? You know, a lot of people say I can say it better. I can say it cleaner. I can say it like this, but that's not me. That's not me. And I look back at my past leaders and how they lived and how they died. You don't make an impact by being in the middle. You don't make an impact by just, you know, oh, well, we're going to work with these people. No, there is no working with anyone. It's either you fighting the power or you giving them more power. You know, and this is like one thing, like when you run into, you're going to run into Black voters who's going to feel like they have authority over you because they are Black and you shouldn't be checking them about their voting record. But I'm telling you right here, that's bullshit. So if you see a Black liberal, call that motherfucker a lid. Call him out and say all the shit that he has done to destroy his own community with his votes. Because a lot of Black people don't believe that, you know, no, they believe, okay, the white man did this, this, and that. Oh, yes, the white man did do this, but we have had voting power for a minute. And if we look at your grandparents' voting record and your voting record, you're helping these people. You're helping these people destroy the community.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like I'd rather live and die for a cause and then be comfortable You know what I'm saying? And not have made an impact or done anything to help other people. And I know it's hard for a lot of people to say that. It's hard. A lot of people that I've known in my life are like, how do you say those things? How do you stand up for yourself all the time? How do you talk like that and not, you know what I mean? Like, I don't take anybody's bullshit. If I see you being harmful to someone or you're trying to take advantage of somebody, I'm going to go over there and I'm going to tell you, like, you don't have to put up with this shit, you know? And a lot of people are like, well, that's not smart. It's not safe. And I'm like, I know. I'm going
That's
to
the
do
whole
it
point.
anyway because I'm not going to live by these standards that don't serve me. They obviously don't serve you. Why are we sitting here being
Right.
quiet about it? It's
Right.
not helping anybody. And, you know, people are like, oh, well, I used to be a Republican. Now I'm a Democrat. Like it's some kind of like evolution. And it's like,
Right.
okay, but why are you stopping there?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I know Republicans. Like I have flipped Republicans, my damn self, from Republican to leftist, and it's not hard. What you are doing is you don't want to admit that we were right. You don't want to admit the lefties were right. So you're going to come in some type of middle. You know, these Democrats are just so far gone. And they think they are on some fucking team. At least conservatives and some Republicans are populists, you know, but these Democrats are just straight up. They too gone.
They're
And
like Elizabeth Warren Democrats.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like just liberal, and that's not left. And you need to make that distinction. Don't call yourself a leftist if you don't care about everybody. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the liberals.
It sound better than saying. It sounds better than lying when we look. You say, "Oh, I'm a leftist," and then we look at your bio. You got Kamala Harris in the background and Black Lives Matter on your head in your fucking bio. Not saying there's nothing wrong with that as a leftist, but we know a lot of liberals use that to fucking paint themselves as whatever. Because a lot of leftists don't even like. We agree with Black Lives. Like, there's only a handful of times I marched for Black Lives Matter. I did a couple of speeches for Black Lives Matter, but I didn't. You know, I wasn't there. I didn't, you know, organize for them and any of that because it's a white organization created to thank Black people and just like say, hey, Black people exist, they matter. That's it. So that's why I never got into that because it was a white people thing. You know, that's why it was more white people on the fucking ground. It wasn't about Black people. It wasn't about us going to go teach white people. It was about white people going to go teach white people that racism is wrong. That was the whole thing. I'm blabbing the fuck off. I'm blabbing the fuck off.
I think it's important to realize, like, that's still a problem, though, that you have to have an organization to tell people that racism isn't okay, and they don't just know that. I mean, that's just been hard. And I think I get it. Racism makes people uncomfortable. You should feel uncomfortable because it's caused nothing but pain and heartache to generations and generations of people. White supremacy is this country's fallacy. Every single year, every single day that we allow that system to continue to exist, we are not moving anywhere. And so you should just get comfortable with getting uncomfortable.
The only thing that advanced in America is the technology, and barely that.
Exactly. Like what we're still running on. Oh, we've got plumbing and electricity. I mean, Elon Musk isn't doing a whole lot, and he's the richest man on the planet right now. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna like, how many more satellites do you need to put up? Is that really advancing, or are you just exploiting what you already have because you want to make a buck? So we can't keep saying that we're evolved when we just stay where we are because we're comfortable and we're making money there. Oh, I lost you for a minute.
I'm sorry about that.
Okay. Yeah.
What you were saying about Elon Musk?
So yeah, technology. Right, like we're just staying where we are. You know what I'm saying? Because it's profitable. So how is that advanced? That's not advanced. That's just bullshit corporate playbook stuff. Like, and why are we proud of that? Because being the richest nation in the world doesn't mean that people are living well here. You know, just look around.
Yeah,
There's
that's why I
we've
tell
got a lot
people,
of
like,
homeless.
when I was back when I first was in these atheist groups and shit like that. I was made as of a couple of them. I used to help people from the Middle East, atheists from the Middle East, get their green cards and shit like that, come over. But I used to tell them, you know, like, this might be the richest country, but don't be expecting to come over here and just come up. Like, you're gonna be poor. You know, and I know a lot of people come over from the Middle East and, you know, or China, Africa. They come over and they get money, but you don't have any backup. They have parents. They have, you know, some of them are families to kings and queens, so they have backup. You're coming here shunned from your family. You know, I'm trying to help you from getting home, but I don't want you to die on the street. So make sure that you know how to work with your hands. Make sure you know how to cook. Make sure you know how to do something to hustle. Because if you come over here to America thinking that you're just gonna be Eddie Murphy and fucking coming to America, you got something else.
No, that's a really good point. Yeah, no, when people come from these other countries, especially where they're impoverished or they're living under sanctions or things like that, they may have some benefits when they first get here, but in this economy, those benefits don't last very long. You know what I'm saying? And then before they know it, they run out of time and they're in a hitch, you know, they can't get the help that they need, and they can't, you know, like, they have to work the worst jobs to make even a little bit. It's just hard because there is that, like, oh, like, dream that America is some beautiful prosperous like place, and it's hard to see these people who still idolize this place even when they've been hurt underneath, you know, living here and trying to prosper here. It's sad.
I was just saying that I was just gonna make that a tweet actually before I even started this. I said, never trust a patriotic black person. Real shit.
Right.
Never, real shit.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
you can't know your history, and if you do know your history, and if you're okay with that, then there's no way I can trust you. No way. Like, you know, I have people that went to the military that's close to me, and I know a couple of them went because, you know, they were poor. You know, they needed backup for this and that. You know, they was military offer you all kind of fucking hopes and dreams. But I tell them, don't go over there fighting them fucking brown people. You know we ain't got no beef.
yeah.
You know we ain't got no beef with them. We got more beef with the fucking white and brown people here than we don't even know them niggas. What enemies do America got? I always ask my military friends, like, why are you going? Honestly, what you want, the Camaro? Bro, you're not getting a damn Camaro.
So what do they say? I mean, like, what do your military friends feel about?
Some of them say that, you know, they went because they were poor. You know, I know one of them, you know, he was going back and forth from being homeless and shit like that. Older white guy and shit like that. He went on a couple of trips. But I'm like, and look what they done for you. You came back to what? I feel like, you know what I'm saying, I love veterans so much. I don't even want y'all to go to war.
Yeah. Which is a good thing. I mean, they shouldn't want to be going to war either. You know what I'm saying? It's violence. It's costly, not just on, you know, our like moral compasses, but like costly for generations. Like, what military person do you know that doesn't have PTSD?
Yeah.
Or doesn't have some sort of medical condition as a result of their service, you know?
Right.
And they're not brought back over here to be cared for very well. How many homeless people are veterans? You know, nobody wants to talk about that, but that's a fact. A lot of people on the streets right now are veterans and they did their time. And look at where they are. Look at how we took care of them, you know?
Yeah. I see it because I have homeless veterans on the side of the freeway out here in Detroit talking about veterans, save me, help me, nigga. I'm like, shit, I need help too. But no, I
Yeah.
give what I can. But shit, man, that shit is just horrible to see that, some people can go on 5 tours and the government can't even guarantee you a house, housing
Right.
and shit like that. Like, holy crap, you did what? You killed how many people? You got all these badges and you don't even have your Camaro? Nigga.
No, I know.
But we gotta
Every military person I know is like, has a little bit of like that patriotism is gone and they're just bitter. Like, yeah, it wasn't great. But like you can't talk to them and criticize the military, right? Like they'll tell you how terrible it was, but you can't say those bastards did what to you. You know what I mean? Because like for some reason, I guess it's programming or just like that camaraderie that they built together while they were over there. Like you don't talk about it. Like they're not willing to let somebody else, criticize them. Yeah, and it's like this weird loyalty that they build up, even though they're upset and harmed from their service. Like they still have that loyalty, and I think that's what hurts the most. Realizing, like I've met a lot of people who are like, Donald J. Trump was the best president in the history of the world, and they're just so deluded because they're like, he always did this and he kept his promises, and I was like, I know, but like, don't you think his promises were not like helpful to the general public? Right. And then they're like, I don't know what you're talking about.
And the good promises he didn't keep. He ran on a universal healthcare system. I remember that because I was living in Michigan when he came in.
I didn't know that. What a liar.
Yeah. He said Mexico was going to pay for the war, not your tax dollars.
That was funny.
Yeah. But it was good talking to you. It was great, actually. And everybody check her out. Follow her on Twitter. Follow her on everything. Just dox her ass, y'all. No, I'm playing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It was really good to talk to you. Fun.
I just like to keep it real here, because, I might get a couple of big names here and there, but I want everybody to feel like they are welcome to come here and, say whatever the fuck they feel. No matter what your tag is, you can be a communist, you can be a liberal. Just be a human being. Make sure I can understand you. You got a good microphone and an okay camera, and we can work.
Oh, okay. Oh no, was my camera bad?
Hey, I lost you a couple times. I'm working off an iPhone. Like some people be having all types of shit. I'm working off an iPhone. It doesn't take much to teach people. Sometimes I just get out there in the street and I just yell without a microphone. So it don't take $70,000 to tell people that your government is corrupt.
That's true. I'll be doing the same thing. So yeah, I appreciate you having me on to talk. It was really nice.
It was nice having you, man. You have a good time. Have a good day. Everybody check her out. Once again, thank you for checking out the show. That'll be it.
You joined the rebel movement, now you speaking to the leader. The system don't like me, the system don't like your ass either. The color of your skin, no matter to them, you are not equal. If you